The koala is not a bear, although it's often called one. There are no bears found naturally in Australasia. All mammals have milk-producing glands, mammary glands, and suckle their young. Mammals are divided into three groups determined by the nature of the young at birth. Eutherians, placental mammals, for example, bears and humans, give birth to their young at an advanced stage of development. Monotremes, the platypus and the echidnas, lay eggs, which hatch at a very early stage of development. Marsupials, like koalas, give live birth to young also at an early stage of development. Most marsupial young then develop in a pouch, the Latin word for which is marsupium. Koalas are scientifically classified as follows. Phylum, Chordata. Class, Mammalia. Superorder, Marsupialia. Order, Diprotodonta. Genus, Phascolactos. Species, Cinereus. The koalas were formerly included with another group of tree-dwelling marsupials, the possums. The koala is at present included in a group with the wombats, with which it has many anatomical similarities. Of the koala's ancestors, little is known. Fossil relics of koalas have been found in widely scattered parts of Australia, in cave deposits in Western Australia, where the koala is now extinct, and in the beds of player lakes in the dry interior. "20 million years ago, this now sparse land was forested and supported abundant life. Australia was once part of a supercontinent known to scientists as Gondwana land. Some 200 million years ago, this supercontinent began to break up. Land masses which now form the Earth's continents drifted towards their present positions. About this time, mammal-like creatures which evolved from reptiles first appeared. Today, living marsupials are found only in the Americas and Australasia. Fossil marsupials have been found in North and South America and Europe, where it seems that the evolving Eutherian mammals have replaced the marsupials. Before the arrival of Europeans, the koala probably lived over a broad area of eastern Australia. Today, it is found in isolated colonies scattered over much of the eastern coast of Australia in open forest. There are three races of koala. Those living in the tropics are quite small and normally have an average weight of about 6.5 kilograms and have short, light grey fur. Koalas living in the colder southern part of Australia are much larger, measuring up to 75 centimeters in length, with males weighing up to 13 kilograms and females to about 10 kilograms. The fur is darker and longer and sometimes of a distinctive reddish tinge. The third race is intermediate between these two, both in size and in coloration and in the climate of its region. The head is squat with large ears and small bright eyes. The skin of the nose is sparsely furred and the size of the nose suggests a well-developed sense of smell. The koala has 30 teeth. In the upper jaw there are 6 incisors, 2 canines, 2 premolars, and 8 molars. The lower jaw contains 2 incisors, 2 premolars, and 8 molars. The molars, which are highly specialized, erupt progressively as the koala matures. The koala's arms and legs show striking adaptations to life in the trees. The front limbs are heavy and muscular. 2 of the digits of the forepaws are opposed to the other 3. This facility, together with the long claws, gives the animal an extraordinary grip on tree branches. In addition, the koala can lift its arms above the shoulder, a great advantage when climbing or reaching for food. Of all other animals, only the primates can do this. The hind limbs are lighter than the forelimbs, and only 4 of the digits of the foot have claws. The remaining one is broad and fleshy and affords good traction on tree trunks. The tail, though shown by the skeleton to have 5 bones, is not visible externally. Though koalas seem to sit unmoving in the trees, they do move about the bush, either by jumping from branch to branch or by climbing down and walking. Koalas are probably territorial. That is, their movements about the bush are normally restricted to particular trees of acceptable species within a limited area, and they normally defend these trees against intrusion by other members of their species. At the first hint of danger, however, the koala will run to the nearest tree and climb to safety. Koalas are able to swim, but progress is slow, and the koala normally swims only when it's necessary for survival. Although the koala is mainly nocturnal, it does move about in daylight, feeding on the leaves, stalks, and occasionally the bark of the eucalyptus or gum trees. The leaves and young tips, however, make up the bulk of the diet. In any locality where koalas are found, they tend to favor only a few of the more than 500 species of eucalyptus that grow in Australia, and their favoritism may change from place to place. However, while there is some disagreement as to the total number of species favored, scientists do agree that in southern Australia, it's the manna gum, Eucalyptus viminalis, that is most favored, while further north, the koala favors the grey and forest red gums, and it's in the vicinity of these species that the koala is most likely to be found. Why the koala is so selective is not known. Certainly there are differences in the chemical composition of different species of eucalyptus. Gum leaves are a crude foodstuff and require considerable digestion. To achieve this, the koala has a cecum, a large pouch at about the same position as the human appendix, which, if it were unwound to its full length, would be about 2 meters long. The cecum contains microorganisms which, by a process of fermentation, assist the digestion of the gum leaves. Even the oils are absorbed, and the koala smells strongly of eucalyptus, which may be a reason for the almost total lack of external parasites. The male koala has a gland on his chest, the sternal gland, which he uses to mark trees which he regards as part of his own territory. A koala will sniff at the bark of a tree while climbing, and may avoid trees which are clearly not part of its territory. Koalas are solitary animals. Most sightings of 2 koalas in the one tree are sightings of a female and young. Tolerance of the close company of a mature koala of the other sex is frequently a prelude to mating. Between September and December in the tropics and November and February in the south, the male trumpets out his readiness to mate. The female is thought to be receptive for 1 or 2 days a month during this time, until either the estrus cycle ends or she is successfully impregnated. It's the receptiveness of the female that determines whether mating will occur. And if she is unwilling to mate, her ejection of the male is positive. The female's reproductive organs are typical of the marsupial. They consist of a pair of ovaries and a pair of fallopian tubes, which lead via the uteri to two median vaginae, which adjoin one another but are divided by a septum. Each lateral vagina opens into the urogenital canal, which leads to the exterior via the cloaca. The bladder opens into the urogenital canal and the bowel into the cloaca. The embryo develops from the fertilized ovum for about 35 days. At birth, the embryo passes from the uterus to the median vagina, and the tissue wall dividing the vagina from the urogenital canal then breaks down, and the embryo passes through the hole and is born via the cloaca. After birth, the breech closes and the organs return to their original condition. At birth, the young weighs about half a gram and is about 2 centimeters in length. Usually only one young is born, though twins have been recorded. The young koala's forelimbs are well developed for grasping the mother's fur, and the size of the nasal region suggests that the young already has a well-developed sense of smell. The eyes are still closed. Probably guided by its sense of smell and unaided by the mother, the young climbs to the mother's pouch and there fastens on to one of the two nipples. Here it will stay feeding on the mother's milk for 6 or 7 months. After about 4 months, the young is active inside the pouch and its eyes are open. By 5 months, the body is covered by fine, long hairs. After 6 months, the young is making frequent sorties out of the pouch and weaning has commenced. Weaning is a remarkable process. The young hangs from the pouch and consumes partly digested gum leaves, which the mother passes from the cloaca. This practice assists the young to develop the microorganism population of its cecum, necessary for the digestion of gum leaves, and avoids injury to the young by tough gum leaves or by any toxic substances in the leaves. This cloacal feeding occurs regularly during the 6th and 7th months. The young abandons the pouch at about the 7th or 8th month and is carried on the mother's belly. The latter part of the first year is a time of rapid growth, and by 12 months, the young has finished weaning and has a full coat of silver-grey fur. The young koala is now practically independent of the mother, but will remain with her for several more months. The koala reaches sexual maturity during the 2nd or 3rd year and may live for up to 15 years. It is commonly thought that the name koala is derived from an Aboriginal name for the animal, meaning no drink, but there is no evidence for this. As gum leaves and dew provide moisture for the koala, it does not need to drink water, but drinking has been observed. Because koalas are solitary animals, their dispersion in individual territories means that high densities of animals are not naturally found in any area. Koalas are no longer found in such high numbers as they were 50 years ago. Disease, hunting, and clearing of their open forest woodland habitat for agriculture has led to a decline in numbers. But in the national forests and parks, their continual survival is assured.